Hi everyone, welcome to this first intermediate masterclass of bridge I'm doing for BBO. This is the first in a series aimed at the intermediate to improving players, and hopefully you can watch these videos, pick up a few things or two and add them to your game. They're all going to be focused on play, either declare a play or defense, and then we're talking about concepts in general. Hopefully the ideas behind what we're going to do today will help you when you come to the similar sort of contracts with similar sort of decisions. Today we're talking about guarding against poor splits or taking advantage of things that could lie well for you, giving you that extra chance to make an extra trick. We're going to be looking at a few hands, and each time you have the opportunity, if you'd like to pause the deal before we do it and see if you can see what the problem is and how we can potentially give ourselves an extra chance to make an extra trick. Without further ado, we're going to go into the first hand, so join me as we work through these problems together. So here's our first hand. We can see the bidding here. You open one no trumper south, which is 15 to 17 high card points. Your partner bids Stamen. You decide to show you haven't got a 4-card major, which is true, and partner bids 6 no trumps, electing to try and make 12 tricks or electing to try and make you make 12 tricks. And so we can see the opening lead in this particular case is the Queen of Hearts. So feel free to pause and have a think about how you play the hand and what extra chances there are. But we're going to talk about the theory behind what we're going to do today. And the first thing we're going to do is count our tricks. So partner puts down a pretty good hand. It's an 18 count. And we're going to count our tricks. We've got at least 2 spade tricks, at least 2 heart tricks. That's 4. 3 guaranteed diamond tricks. That's 7. And 4 clubs is 11. So we're on 11 tricks and we need to try and make 12. And so what suits are going to be the best chance of making 12 tricks? Well, you've got no extra diamond tricks. You're already going to make all your diamonds. You're already going to make all your clubs. So your extra trick has to come from the majors. And there's probably no way you can make an extra heart trick. There might be the odd chance of a squeeze or something like that. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to assume we can't make an extra heart trick. And so our solution comes down to how do we play the spades? Well, spades could easily give us an extra trick. If spades are 3-3, we're definitely going to make 3 spade tricks. We'll knock out the ace, and then our king and queen will take out the remaining spades, and our 2 of spades will be a winner. So that's the case. So if we were hoping things break favourably, a 3-3 spade pit is the best thing we can do. Are there any spade breaks we can take advantage of that aren't 3-3? So this is what we're talking about today. We're looking potentially for extra ways to play certain suits in a way that if the defence's cards lie favourably or they split the right way, they're not necessarily breaking, but could we take advantage of a split? Well, we haven't got the 10, the 9 or the 8. So something like 10 double turn or 9 double turn or 10-9 double turn, maybe potentially if East has maybe 10-9 double turn or 10-8 double turn or 8-9 double turn, we might be able to make an extra trick because we would then be able to finesse against West's remaining honour. But there is another potential split we can do, and what we can do is play for someone to have a double turn ace of spades, and in this case it has to be East. If you can imagine, what we're going to do is we're going to lead to the Queen of Spades. What does East do if they only have 2 spades with the ace? Well, they have to duck it, because if they go in with the ace, you're going to make your king, queen and jack separately, and that gets you your 12 tricks. So what we're then going to have to do is, if East has ace doubleton, we need to lead towards our queen and jack twice. And we've got to do it in such a way that we don't lose out when they are actually 3-3. So we can't just play a spade to the queen and then duck a spade, because then when they're 3-3, we've gone off. So we don't want to do that. So what we want to do in this particular case is win the ace of hearts. We're then going to try and get 2 leads towards our queen, jack of spades. Play a spade. East plays the 9. So they could have 10-9, 9-8 doubleton, which also helps us. It gives us a chance anyway. And we win the jack. So now we know East has the ace of spades, or West making a tricky duck. So what we're going to do now, again, we don't want to play spades from our hand, because if spades aren't 3-3, if the ace takes one of our honours, we're not going to make another spade trick. So what we're going to do is cross to dummy. And we're going to play another spade towards our hand. East plays the ace. It looks like they did have ace double turn. Now we're going to make our king, queen, jack of spades separately, which gets us to 12 tricks. Let's take a look at the full hand. So you can see here the full hand. East had exactly the holding we were playing for. Obviously they will do because this is a video talking about card play, but it's an extra chance. Imagine if your Jack of Spades lost to West's ace. Well, you've still got a 3-3 spade split for your contract. So you've not lost anything by doing that, but by being able to play 2 spades towards your queen and then towards your jack, you cater for East potentially having a favourable ace doubleton spade suit. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to be looking at a few other hands, and in each case you have the chance to pause the video, see if you can spot what you do, and then we'll go and talk about how we can give ourselves the best chance for the most tricks. So here we have our second board of the video, and we're in 6 no trumps once more. Obviously, like I said earlier, it's a lot easier to cater for these extra things if you're in control of the contract, if you've got the entries you need to do these suits. And so we're in another 6 no trumps, another slam, and we're trying to make it. But this time we've got a bit of information from the bidding. East has opened 3 clubs. We decide to overcall 3 no trumps with our pretty good 18 count. Partner raises to 4 no trumps, and we decide we're better than we could be, and we bid 6 no trumps. So hopefully partner's got a good hand. And they put down a 10 count with 5 diamonds, which is pretty good. So the Queen of Spades is a good card. Jack of Hearts is working well, and obviously the 5th diamond with the Ace King as well is very good. So we're going to do the usual thing. So if you want to have a go yourself, we're going to pause the video if you'd like to and see if you can think about how you do this. And feel free to pause at any point. So if you want to decide after you've seen what happens on the first couple of tricks, you're more than welcome to do that. But we're going to do our usual thing as well. What's going to happen here? How many tricks have we got? Well, we've got 3 spades. And we've got 2 hearts, that's 5. We've hopefully got 5 diamonds, that's 10. And we've got the Ace Queen of Clubs. So if you're in this slam, you've got to think, oh, brilliant, if things break, I'm going to make 12 tricks. What can I do if things don't break? So have a think about that now. And then we're going to play and see what happens in the first couple of tricks. I think the first thing to probably do is to, well, we're not going to duck a trick because we're missing the Ace of Hearts. And we probably need to knock out the Ace of Hearts before we kind of try and cash our tricks, just to see where it is and just to make sure things are going to be okay. So what we're going to do is win the first trick with the Queen of Clubs. We know East has King to 6 or King to 7 clubs initially. They have opened 3 clubs. They are favourable, so we don't know if they've necessarily got 7. But they've got 6 or 7 clubs. So we're going to knock out the Ace of Hearts. We're going to play the King of Hearts. And if this is ducked, we're going to play another heart to try and knock out the ace to make sure we make our 2 heart tricks. East takes the ace. And East plays the King of Clubs back. So we win the ace. West follows. So we know East only has 6 clubs. And we discard a spade. So we've still got our tricks. So we've made 2 tricks already. We're going to make 3 more spades. That gets us to 5. 2 more hearts, that gets us to 7, and hopefully 5 diamonds, that gets us to 12. So it looks like we're going to make our contract. Is there anything that could go poorly? Yes, diamonds might not break. So when you're taught initially to play on a suit like this, you're normally taught to play when you've got honours in both hands. You're normally taught to play one of the honours in the hand where you've got 2 honours. You're normally taught to play the ace of diamonds here. Because a lot of the time it's right. If you're in a 4-4 fit, it helps you pick up 4-1 breaks and things like that. But here, what's the only thing that could go poorly? Well, the only thing that could go poorly is if diamonds are 4-0. And for a couple of reasons, who do we think, which 4-0 break can we pick up? Can we pick them up if they're 4-0 either way? And who's more likely to have 4 diamonds? Now, obviously, whatever we do, we're not going to duck a diamond, because then we'll go off. So we're going to try and make our tricks, and we're going to make it whenever they split. So when you're in this contract and it looks like you've got your contract and your tricks, what could you do if things break badly? And if you think about who's like to have 4 diamonds, it's like to be West. How can we pick up the diamonds if West has all 4? If we play a diamond to the ace and East shows out, West will have the jack and the 10 left, and our king can't beat both of them. So what you have to do in this case is you have to play the Queen of Diamonds from your hand in the south hand. So we're going to unblock the hearts first. And now at this point, before we try and cash our major suit tricks, because we are going to need entries potentially if diamonds aren't going to break, is we're going to cash the Queen of Diamonds. Now if East follows to this, or if they both follow to this, it's absolutely fine. So if it goes diamond, diamond, and East plays a diamond, we're in an absolutely fine spot. We can just put our hand down and say, I'll have 12 tricks, please. But if East doesn't play a diamond, we can actually pick up West's diamonds. So if East, for example, discards here, you can see, looking at the whole hand, that West has the Jack and 10 of diamonds left. So we can still pick up Jack 10-7 as long as we retain the ace and the king. The ace needs to beat one of the Jack of 10, the king needs to beat the other one, and the 8 of diamond needs to beat the 7. So we know the shape of the hand. Effectively, East is irrelevant here. We're going to make the rest of the tricks, but we just have to be careful with entries. Make sure we get another entry to the south hand to lead diamonds twice. So what we have to do is play a diamond. If West splits their honour by playing one of the 2 honours, we have to win with the king, and we have to cross back to the south hand to play another diamond towards the ace-8. You've got to be careful. South's got no more entries, so you not only have to do that, you have to cash your spades. So we're going to go spade, 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 throwing North's losing heart away. And you can see now we're in the right hand, we're in the south hand, and we're going to be able to play diamonds. But you've still got to be careful here. Don't play the 4. If you play the 4, West can stop you by putting the Jack in. For example, if we play the 4 here, if West plays the Jack, knowing what's going on, you win the ace, but now the diamonds are blocked. So you've got to be careful. I mean, you can throw it on the Jack of hearts, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to be lazy. We're going to play the 9 of diamonds to make sure we don't have an opportunity to mess up. And you can see now that the ace beats the Jack. The 8 of diamonds is going to pull the 7 of diamonds out. And we're going to make the last 2 tricks with the 5 of diamonds and the Jack of hearts. So that's how to cope with a 4-0 break there. Again, sit down, think about what could go wrong, and is there anything you can do in case things aren't breaking 2-2 or 3-3 like they often do. They're going to break 2-2 and 3-3 and 3-2 more often than not. But when they don't, what can you do? Let's have a look at another hand. So this third hand, we're not in slam for a change. We're in 4 spades, and you've got a 17 count as south. You open a no trump. Partner bids Stamen. You show your 4-card spade suit, and partner jumps to game in spades. So you're in 4 spades, and they lead the 10 of clubs. So, as usual, take some time, think about it. You might want to pause a couple of times in this hand because obviously there's a few more cards to find or lose the trick. We're missing potentially the ace of spades, the king of hearts, the king of diamonds, and the queen of clubs. So there's a bit more to this hand because you're going to lose the lead probably more than you were in 6 no trumps. But take some time, think about how you'd play it while the rest of us count some tricks. So, how are we going to make this? Well, we've got the club lead's good. It's actually given us 3 club tricks. So we're going to make 3 clubs. We're going to make at least 2 diamonds, that's 5. We're going to make at least 1 heart, that's 6. And we're going to make at least 3 spades, hopefully. So that looks like we're going to make 9. Even if spades are 4-1, we're probably still, our spades are pretty good. And we can sort of draw trumps, and we have aces in every other suit. So we might be able to be okay with a 4-1 spade break, maybe. And then we've got some finesses to take. They've taken the club finesse for us. We've got a heart finesse and a diamond finesse. So without further ado, we're just going to play a few tricks, see what happens. If there's a club ruff, there's not much we can do about it. So let's just hope there isn't. And we'll play a few tricks in and then reevaluate where we are. So we're going to play low at trick 1. We're going to make sure we take this free club finesse. And our jack wins at trick 1. So we don't know who's got the queen. It could be east, could be west. And we're just going to try and knock out the ace of spades and hope that there isn't a club ruff or something like that. So we're going to go king of spades. East wins the ace. And they play a club back. Oh, well, if there's a ruff, there's a ruff. And West follows with a 9. So it looks like West maybe have queen 10-9 or 10-9 double turn. We don't know for certain until we play another club, but we're not going to do that until we've drawn trumps. So far, we've knocked out the ace of spades, we've lost 1 trick, and then we've won the second club trick, and they both have at least 2 clubs. So we've got 2 red suit finesses we can take, and hopefully spades behave. And if spades behave, we should have quite a lot of play to try and make our 10 tricks. So we're going to play a spade to the 10. And the spades hold. So what we want to do now is we want to be able to take a 2 diamond finesses. If the king of diamonds is with east, we want to be able to finesse twice. So we're going to win another spade. We're finishing in the west hand. And we're going to take a diamond finesse. So it goes diamond, small, queen, king. Okay, so We're going to reevaluate again. So what's happened so far? They've led a club and they've played a second club when they got in with the ace of spades. Spades broke 3-2, and we've taken a losing diamond finesse. So we've already lost 2 tricks. How many more tricks are we going to lose? Well, we're not going to lose any spades. We're not going to lose any diamonds, and we're not going to lose any clubs. So far, we're okay. We're doing okay here. So what can we do now? Well, they're going to play a diamond back. They don't necessarily, if you think about what West might have, if they've got the Jack of Hearts or the King of Hearts, they might not want to play a heart away from their honour. So hopefully West has got at least one of them, if not both. If they've got both, we can't really go wrong. And we win the Jack of Diamonds. Now, what we're going to do now is think about how we can play hearts so that it gives us the best chance of not losing 2 tricks. What possibilities are there? Well, we could take the finesse, but if the king's offside, they're almost certainly going to be able to exit with something. There's no way we can really lose without losing another heart unless there's Jack Doubleton. So the finesse is risky. If the queen loses to the king, we're in danger. But what we want to do, we don't want to give up the chance that the king's onside. If we don't play a heart to the queen, is it ever right not to play a heart to the queen? Because if the king's onside, we're making it. So is it one of those things? Well, you can do something slightly extra chance here. What you can do is play a heart to the ace first, in case East has a singleton honour. If they've got a singleton king or a singleton jack, your queen and 10 are then good enough to make another trick. The other thing you can do is play a heart to the ace, cross back to your hand after cashing both your minors, and play another heart towards the queen. And if that loses to the king and East has King Doubleton, they're end played and they have to give you a rough and discard. So what we're going to do as a little extra chance play, we're not giving up the King of Hearts being onside. Okay? If the King of Hearts is onside, we're still going to make it. But what we're going to do, just in case East has a singleton honour, we're going to play a heart to the ace first before crossing back to our hand and playing another heart towards the queen too. And that can gain in multiple ways. Again, that can gain with singleton king offside, singleton jack offside, or if East has King Doubleton. Remember, because we're going to cross back to play a heart to the queen later, we're not going to lose out on the king being onside. We're just giving ourselves extra chances if the king's offside. So we're going to play a heart to the ace. And East has a singleton king. What are the chances? Well, because I made the hand up, pretty high. But one of those things, again, if you just look at the whole hand, and you can see in this particular case, East had a singleton king. But it would work against a singleton jack as well. And it would also work if East has King Doubleton, because you can actually, because you've still got trumps left, you could actually end play them. Even though the heart's offside, they'd win it in such a time that they'd have to give you a rough and discard. So that's the third hand. Hopefully you spotted that. That's a bit tougher. I've done that a few times in real life. I've dropped a singleton king and my opponent looks at me like I've peeked at the hand or something. But all I'm doing is just catering for that. It doesn't happen very often, but those extra chances that you can play on to make those extra tricks that the experts are making and you're potentially not. We've got one more hand for you. Let's look at the last hand, and then you can potentially use these tricks and things you've learnt today in your own play. So just to show you what I mean by playing for King Doubleton, we've reconstructed it with East having King Doubleton heart. We're going to follow the same play, and when the King of Hearts doesn't fall under the ace, we're going to see how we can potentially make it, even if the King of Hearts is offside. Gives us an extra chance. So we're going to go through the play again. So the first trick is one with Jack of Clubs. We then knock out the Ace of Spades. East plays a club back and it wasn't roughed, which is pretty good. We now draw spades and they break. We then draw the last spade and we take the diamond finesse, just like we did last time. West wins it, doesn't want to play a heart from whatever holding they have, and they play a diamond back. So we're going to be in the same position as last time. Last time we played a heart to the ace and the king fell because I was trying to demonstrate a point, but we can also cater for Doubleton King of Hearts as well. Play a heart to the ace, and when the king doesn't fall, our aim is to lead a heart towards the queen. Remember, we're still trying to make it whenever West has the king. We're also trying to make it as many times as we can when East has the king. So what we're going to do, because we still have a trump left in each hand, we're going to draw our minor suit cards. So we're going to play our King of Clubs, and we're going to play our diamond. And now, if East has the king doubleton heart, like we thought we have, they're now down to a singleton king. So we're still going to play a heart towards the queen. And remember, we're going to make it whenever West had the king. We're just going to put the queen on. But if East has the king and they only have 2 hearts, they now can't play a 3rd heart. And they have to give us a ruff and a discard. So they have to play another heart. If we'd played a heart towards the queen before cashing the ace, East would have a heart to exit with and it wouldn't have worked. Okay, so that's the 3rd hand. We're going to have a look at the 4th hand now, the last of the 4, and hopefully you've enjoyed it and you can put these things to practice next time you play too. So this last hand we have is a sort of classic. You'll see it a lot in books, but if you've never seen it before, it's worth knowing. And it's a sort of a safety play, but it's the same sort of principle. If things break, you're going to make it. What can you do if things don't break the way you want them to? So we're in 6 no trumps. We open 2 no trumps and partner bids 6 no trumps again. And you can see, like a lot of these hands, you've got a lot of control of the side suits. You've got multiple stops. So you've got time to play these extra chance plays. So take your time again. If you've not seen this before, it's worth trying to do it yourself. Pause the video, count the tricks and see what things you could do to try and guarantee or to give yourself the best chance of making 12. But we're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to count our tricks. We have 3 spades, 3 hearts. So we've gone 6 tricks in the majors. The hearts probably aren't coming in for another trick. We've got some diamonds. We've definitely got 2 diamonds. That gets us to 8. And we've got 3 clubs. That gets us to 11. So where could our 12th trick come from? Well, it can't come from spades. It's unlikely to come from hearts unless they discard the wrong thing. And it's unlikely to come to clubs for the same reason. You'd need Jack 10, 9 to fall in 3 rounds to make your 8 of clubs good. So the extra trick we're going to make has to come from diamonds. And like normal, we could do a few things. If diamonds are 3-2, we can make 12. Because we just maybe take a diamond finesse and it wins or it loses. We could just take a diamond finesse, and even if they're 4-1 or 5-0, if the queen of diamonds are the East, we're going to make 12 as well, because we can make our jack of diamonds as our 12th trick. But what if West has got the king of diamonds? Well, there's no backwards finesse as such. You could potentially try and pin the 10 with these or something like that. But what you've got to be aware of is something called a safety play. If you're playing teams and your aim is to make your contract, it doesn't matter whether you make 12 or 13 in teams. Often you'll still get a decent board. You won't be losing too many imps. And so if you can guarantee 12 when sometimes you could make 13 or you could go off, it's much better to guarantee 12. So what could we do in diamonds alone to try and make sure we always make 3 diamond tricks? And if you've seen it before, you'll possibly remember this one. But if you haven't, it's a safety play whenever you're missing the queen and the 10 in an 8 card fit. You need to have the 9. The 9's important. And what we're going to do is a very weird play. And we're going to do something a bit counterintuitive. Is we're going to play the first diamond to the king. So we're going to go win the king of hearts. And we can afford to lose 1 diamond, but we can't afford to lose 2. So what we've got to try and do is play diamonds in such a way that if East has queen 10 to 4 or West has queen 10 to 4, that we make 3 diamond tricks. And the way we do that is we play a diamond to the king. If the queen or 10 falls now, we're fine, but they don't. So again, if diamonds are 3-2, we're fine, but they're possibly not going to be because it's in this video. So what we're now going to do is play a diamond towards the 9. And what do you do if you're West and you have the queen 10-8? Well, we're going to play the 9. If West follows with the 8, we're going to play the 9 and East will show out. Now, if East beats the 9, they're 3-2 and you're fine. But if East shows out, you've made the 9, you've made your 12th trick. So what West has to do, West has to go in with a 10. And then you play the ace, you beat the 10. And again, if East follows to this, you're fine. Diamonds are 3-2 all along. But if East shows out, you'll notice now that you've got the 9 of diamonds and the jack of diamonds that are equals against West's queen. You now can afford to give a diamond up to the jack and queen. And you'll notice your 9 of diamonds is now the highest diamond left. So it's a safety play, guarding against queen 10 to 4 in either hand. We'll just have a quick look at what we need to do when East has queen 10 to 4. And then we'll come back to some final thoughts. So here's the same hand with the same opening lead, but you can see now that I've put the 4 diamonds in East's hand, and the reason it's a safety play that guarantees 3 diamond tricks, however the diamonds break, is one you should definitely know. So we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other hand. Again, remember, we can't see where the diamonds are, so we know the finesse is working now, but we're trying to guard against Queen 10 to 4 in either hand, and this is how we can do it. So we're going to do the same thing again, win the King of Hearts. We're going to play a diamond to the King like we did last time. And then we're going to play a diamond towards the ace 9. Now, intention is, remember, that if West follows, we're putting the 9 on. Okay? Because that guarantees it whenever they're 4-1 with West having 4. It also makes it on all 3-2 breaks. And that's the important thing. These plays are still making it when things break nicely. Okay? But here, you can see when West shows out, we go up with the ace of diamonds. And we're going to play a diamond towards our jack. You can see that the Queen of Diamonds being onside is good for us. We can now play a diamond towards our jack. And doesn't matter what East does now. They either play the Queen and our jack wins, or they play the 10 and our jack wins as well. So the Queen will mean they win it earlier, and they take the Queen. And then we can claim. We're going to make our 3 spades, our 2 hearts, our diamond, and our 3 clubs. As long as we don't block ourselves or do something silly. Okay? So that's our first masterclass. Hopefully you now know how to guard against poor breaks. And remember, when you're doing it, don't lose the possibility of making the most tricks when things are breaking well. And obviously it depends whether you're playing match points or teams. Safety plays are those dangerous things. If you make a safety play in match points, it could be that you're the only person making 12 when everyone else is making 13. So it's a dangerous thing. But in teams, when you're trying to make your contract, give yourself that extra chance. Think about what can happen if things don't break the way you want it. And if you've got the control and the time and the entries to cater for that, you'll be making extra tricks where other people won't, and you'll be getting those good boards. Anyway, I've been Steve. Join me next time for another masterclass on a different topic, which we'll see what that will be.